Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your very first time here. My name is Troy, and in today's series, what you're going to see is 5 dividend stocks that I love that all have ex-dividend dates for this coming week. Now, what makes this list different than any other list you're going to find on YouTube is all of these stocks have crushed the S&P 500 over a long period of time. They all have super low payout ratios and super high dividend growth rates. So if any of that tickles your fancy, make sure you guys stay tuned, because stock number 5 on this week's list is United Health Group, stock ticker UNH. Including today's video, this is now the third time I've mentioned this stock right here on the channel, and if you go back to the very first time I spoke about it on September 2nd of 2022, UNH is actually underperforming the S&P 500 since then, but this stock is still a winner long term, and I want to show you the numbers behind that. UNH is a quarterly payer in the healthcare sector, paying $8.40 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 1.38%. UNH has been paying and growing their dividend over the past 15 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 13.81%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 14.99%, and a payout ratio of 28.03%. Now, at the time of recording, United Health Group was trading 3.25% off of their 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of December 9th with a payout date of December 17th. And looking at this chart, you're going to be able to see the growth of a $10,000 investment while only reinvesting dividends since then over the past 10 years. UNH would have turned that $10,000 into $71,660.64, which outperforms the S&P 500 by $36,698.52. Next up, and coming in at number 4, is Victory Capital, stock ticker VCTR. Including today's video, this is now the second time I've mentioned this stock right here on the channel. And if you go back to the first time I spoke about it on September 6th of 2024, VCTR is crushing the S&P 500 since then, and I want to show you the numbers on why I'm still excited about this stock. VCTR is a quarterly payer in the financial sector, paying $1.76 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 2.53%. VCTR has been paying and growing this dividend over the last 5 years, and they have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 49.44%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 95.7%, and a payout ratio of 28.08%. Now, at the time of recording, Victory Capital was trading 5.37% off of their 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of December 9th with a payout date of December 23rd. And looking at this chart, this is only over 6.81 years. And Victory Capital would have turned that $10,000 into $68,159.02, which outperformed the S&P 500 by $42,036.85 in the same time frame. Next up, and coming in at number 3, is Motorola Solutions, stock ticker MSI. Including today's video, I've now mentioned this stock 2 times right here on the channel. And if you go back to the very first time I spoke about this one, all the way back on September 6th of 2024, MSI is outperforming the S&P 500, so I want to show you the numbers behind this one. MSI is a quarterly payer in the technology sector, paying $4.36 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 0.87%. MSI has been paying and growing this dividend over the last 13 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 11.35%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 11.45%, and a payout ratio of 28.63%. Now, at the time of recording, Motorola Solutions was trading 1.6% off of their 52-week high. They have an ex-dividend date of December 13th and a payout date of next year at January 15th. And looking at this chart back to a 10-year time horizon, we have a $10,000 investment into MSI that would have been turned into $90,539.16, which outperforms the S&P 500 by $55,577.04. With that being said, we've already covered 3 of the 5 stocks in today's video, but we do have the best 2 left. If you guys like this video and like this style of content, please let me know by leaving a like on the video. It's free to you and helps me out a lot. Also, at the end of the video, use the comment section down below. I want to know what you guys think of this week's list, and I want to know if you guys would have any of these stocks higher or lower in the list, or if you guys would have a completely different list. Keep in mind, they all need to have ex-dividend dates of this coming week to be qualified, so keep that in mind. But now, let's get to number 2. And coming in at number 2 on this week's list is Lam Research, stock ticker LRCX. Including today's video, I've now mentioned this stock 9 times right here on the channel. And if you go all the way back to the first time I spoke about it on September 9th of 2022, LRCX is outperforming the S&P 500 since then, which is very surprising, and you're going to see why here in a second. LRCX is a quarterly payer in the technology sector, paying 92 cents per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 1.25%. LRCX has been paying and growing this dividend over the last 10 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 15.41%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 13.28%, and a payout ratio of 25.86%. And right here, this is what I was talking about on why this is surprising. At the time of recording, Lam Research was trading 34.61% off of their 52-week high, and they're still outperforming the market over that 2-year period, which is nuts. They have an ex-dividend date of December 11th with a payout date also of next year at January 8th, and over the past 10 years, LRCX is still crushing the S&P 500, which is crazy. So they have a 10-year total return of $104,419.21, which still outperforms the S&P 500 after giving up more than 30% of their gains recently, by $69,457.09. And coming in at number 1 on this week's list is a stock that's going to tickle the fancy of any of the yield investors that do watch my channel. Say hello to Capital Southwest, stock ticker CSWC. Including today's video, this is now the 8th time I mentioned this stock right here on the channel. And if you go back to the very first time I spoke about it, on March 10th of 2023, CSWC is outperforming the S&P 500 since then. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers behind this one. CSWC is a quarterly payer in the financial sector, paying $2.32 per share per year with a forward dividend yield of 9.85%. CSWC has been paying and growing this dividend over the last 9 years. They have a 3-year dividend growth rate of 10.45%, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 8.4%, and a payout ratio of 86.42%, keeping in mind that this is a BDC. Now, at the time of recording, Capital Southwest was actually trading 13.48% off of their 52-week high, so possibly an opportunity there. They have an ex-dividend date of December 13th with a payout date of the last day of the year, December 31st. And looking at this chart, over the past 10 years, CSWC would have turned that $10,000 into $117,678.24, which outperforms the S&P 500 by $82,716.12. And here we are at the end of the video. If you guys did make it this far, first I want to say thank you guys so much, but it is important to note that if you guys happen to be watching this video after December 9th of 2024, it's going to be very important to make sure you guys are subscribed and watch these videos as soon as they come out, because some of the ex-dividend dates I mentioned in today's video might have already passed, which means you now need to wait 3 long months before you get any dividends from any of these companies, and we all know ain't nobody got time for that. Speaking of missing the boat, if you guys happen to miss last week's video where I talked about 5 more high quality dividend stocks that look just like these, make sure you check that out right here. But until next time, see ya.